Hello everyone and welcome! We've talked about power, we've talked about magic, and we've talked about blood. I think it's time for a bit of science. So today, we will have a look at the masterminds of the city called Zaun. Zaun is a city dedicated to science, inventions, and experiments. Then there is Piltover, a city that is also interested in science. These two cities are the main sources of inventions, which also means new weapons. As the conflicts between Demacia and Noxus became worse, Piltover stepped in and they offered their help to Demacia. Of course, because Demacia was now armed with science, Noxus stood no chance. And so, Noxus made the only logical decision and teamed up with Zaun to counter science with more science. Demacia used the help of Piltover to protect their citizens. On the other hand, Noxus wanted nothing more than bigger, better and deadlier weapons. Only one man in Zaun could produce that: Professor Warwick. Warwick was an expert at producing chemical weapons of mass destruction. Not only was he an admirable scientist, but he was also an excellent hunter. He was able to track down and capture his own human subjects for his horrific experiments. But, as Noxus demanded more and more weapons, he couldn't do everything on his own, so to speed everything up, he took Singed under his wings. Warwick taught Singed everything he knew. Together, they were able to double the production speed. Every time Warwick left to hunt down more subjects, Singed would continue the research. Warwick even told Singed to experiment on himself if they happened to be out of the subjects. By that time, Noxus started their campaign against Ionia. So of course, demands were higher and higher and Warwick had to go hunting more and more often. So Singed was left to experiment on himself most of the time. After few months, Singed's body was both ruined and sustained. He could no longer feel pain. Even in this state, they were not able to satisfy the needs of Noxian military. But Warwick had a plan. Singed was no hunter, but he was strong and fast. That's exactly what Warwick needed. And so, Singed wrote down a formula for a potion that would turn Warwick into something more than a man. The recipe required 3 critical components: silver from Shadow Isles, the fang of a balefire direwolf, and the heart of a celestial being. For a hunter like Warwick, stealing valuables and killing beasts was an easy task. But he never encountered a celestial being. He traveled to Ionia and he tried to capture Soraka. But Soraka is a being guided by the stars, and simple traps won't fool her. She discovered his plan and she drove him away with powerful magics. After his defeat, Warwick traveled back to his laboratory. Furious, he told Singed to give him the incomplete potion, but Singed warned him. The results would be unpredictable and whatever comes out is going to be unbalanced. Warwick ignored all the warnings and he chucked the potion. The metal and the fang started working. Warwick started to feel the transformation, but the potion was missing the celestial essence that would stop the transformation in time. It was too late. Warwick left his human form behind to become a werewolf. Warwick was excited. He immediately started testing his limits. Each day his instincts would become sharper, but his human half would slip further away. He caught his prey every time, but many times he failed to bring it back alive. Warwick realized that he started losing himself to the beast inside, and he knew that there is only one way out. He needs to find celestial guidance and devour it. I know that Zaun may look like a place of pure evil, but it actually never really was. Yes, a lot of weapons were researched here, including the creation of Zac, but the scientists quickly realized that weapons are not everything. A small team from the College of Techmaturgy started working on a special robot. This robot would be able to calculate risks and benefits, and he would be able to make decisions that humans simply couldn't. The person that led the team responsible for the construction of this robot was Victor. But as it is with every invention, only one person can take the credit for all of the work. Unfortunately, it wasn't Victor, but it was Professor Stanwyck who stole all the credits, and later on, he even used Victor's research to revive Urgot. Victor was devastated. He fell into deep depression, he left the college and he barricaded himself in his laboratory so that no one would be able to ever steal his research again. He started constructing better, faster and stronger robots, but his human emotions were still in the way, and he knew exactly how to fix it. Instead of making more robots that would work for the humans, why can't he just improve humans by turning them into robots? After some private time, his research was complete. Using Hextech augmentations, he replaced and improved 80% of his body. Initially, people were skeptical about his work, but as the time went on, everyone realized that Victor really was better in every way. Some people were amazed by his work so much that they wanted to join his ways. They also wanted to be part of the glorious evolution. And so, if Zaun ever decides to go to war on its own, now you know that they will not only have powerful chemical weapons, but they will also have a cyborg army. Keep in mind that the characters we've talked about here are not the only citizens of Zaun, but I will keep the rest for another video. I hope you enjoyed the talk about science, because this won't be the last time we do this. I want to thank everyone for sitting here with me, and as always, thank you, come again. I hope everyone is enjoying the championship, because for some reason this year I am more excited than I was last year. I am not sure why that is. It may be because this year it feels far less predictable, because you have a huge variety of players, and then you have some old school players and you have some new players in it, and it's just truly unpredictable. I mean, most people said that C9 is going to be one of the worst teams, and here we go, they actually performed really well. So I can't wait to see who is going to get out of the groups and who is actually going to fight for the finals. So, as always, thank you for coming, thank you, come again, and I said all of this. See ya!